Now, the governor of Benue State, Reverend Father Alia, has confirmed the latest figure of casualties in the Yelewata attack as 151. The governor gave the latest during a live interview on TVC News Beyond the Headlines with Nifemi Oguntoye, where he said 127 persons were buried yesterday. 2 are currently in the morgue, 18 bodies yet to be buried, and 4 recovered from the bush. He also condemned the call for a state of emergency.
The numbers kept increasing. I'm coming back from there, and we cannot attach any specific numbers to this. But the figures that were buried, 127 buried, 2 still in the mortuary, 18 still again to be buried, 4 bodies recovered this afternoon in the bush. So, and there is a tendency of making more body recoveries in the bushes. This is a mischievous statement. That is an unfortunate thinking and statement. That is a statement that does not bear any fruit even down the road, as it wouldn't even now. That does not hold any waters at all. On what basis are they even suggesting that a state of emergency be called for? This is part of politicizing of the insecurities we are experiencing in the nation, and particularly in the states. Why Benue? Why are you calling for? Why are they even thinking of emergency pronouncement for Benue?
Governor of Benue State Alia there. Well, let's now bring in a former captain in the U.S. Army, Bish Johnson, who joins me live via Zoom from Abuja. Captain Johnson, 151 people dead in Benue State. First, what's your assessment of how these attacks are being handled?
Yeah, good evening, and thank you for having me. Look, these problems didn't start overnight. We've been discussing these issues, killings in the plateau, Benue for more than a decade now, and so it seems to me that we have not taken the right steps to end these problems. What has been going on is that we just continue to go in circles. Something happens, we surge assets to the places where these things happen, we suppress the problem, and then we'll put those assets back, and then the problems reoccur again. So what we need to do is to take a step back, reassess the situation. But I believe that by now, most people on ground already know what exactly is going on in their place. And so we need to re-strategize and look at how we are going to solve these problems so that they don't come back again. We solve the problems once and for all, not just to suppress them now, but to suppress it now and look at the remote causes of these problems and find out how we are going to solve the problems permanently so that the problems will stop reoccurring. And I think that the time to do that is now.
We'll get to that re-strategizing. But first, let's address this issue. Governor Alia has described the calls for a state of emergency in Benue as mischievous. Do you share the same sentiment with the governor?
Yes, of course. I think the state of emergency is not the solution to this problem. If you recall, when the previous governor was Samuel Otom was in office, he faced the same problem. Even the one before him faced the same problem. So this one is also facing similar problem. So even if you declare a state of emergency, the person who is going to replace the governor is still going to be a human being. He's not going to be a superhuman. He will still face similar problems. So what is needed is not a state of emergency. What is needed is for all stakeholders, the federal, state, local government, traditional rulers, community leaders, security agencies, for everybody to come together, look at what is happening in Benue and Empathy, and figure out how to solve the problem and solve it permanently. State of emergency will not solve the problem. The person who will replace the current governor is still going to be a human being. So he is not going to do magic. He won't wish the problems away. The problems will still be there.
Captain
Decisive,
Johnson,
deliberate, and intentional steps are not taken to address these problems and address them permanently.
I hear you, Captain Johnson. You seem to be quite confident that these attacks in Benue State bear semblance to what was witnessed under previous administrations. But in this case, there are concerns that this might not exactly be some, herders' conflict or attacks, really, that it might just have some form of perhaps political undertone. Do you suppose that is the situation?
Well, I don't know what exactly, I don't see the difference between what is happening now and what has happened in the previous administration, or even the ones before them. In some of those instances, there's always, political undertone behind them. But whatever the problems are, they are not problems that are insurmountable. They can be solved, whether they have political undertone or not. The weapons of choice for these killings are small arms and light weapons. And we need to find out how they are getting into the hands of these people, who those people are, and where they are coming from, whether it has political undertone or not. We need to find the people responsible, get as much of a trove of intelligence as we can get from them, and close the loophole once and forever. Political undertone doesn't mean that the problems cannot be solved. They can be solved.
All right, then. Former captain in the U.S. Army, Bish Johnson, thank you very much for your time on TVC News at 7.